And now, Minion Works presents Freelance Heroism.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
But first and foremost, we want to thank everyone who donates to our Patreon, who helps us make a better show for everyone. Big round of applause for everyone out there. Cue Rachel not putting in the sound of applause because, like I said, I'm your friend and she hates you. All that aside, we just want to take a minute to say thank you. Rachel, can you let us know who they are?
I would be happy to because I care about all of our patrons.
But not as much as Dees does because he's your best friend.
So we want to say thank you to Vox Vestora, Chris Deeds, Chris Stones, Christopher Hildebrand, Mo Walker, Rebecca, Orient_Tiger, Breakmeister, and the Minion Works. Thank you so much, you guys.
Really, thank you guys so much. So, we normally do an intro. We kind of just spitball it. We talk about what we've been playing. I mean, all the people that listen to us are gamers. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's like a cultural thing. What are you playing? What are you know?
Mhm.
But sometimes Professor Dees likes to get into a little, informative rigmarole to tell people a little bit about a thing that
Okay.
maybe they're unfamiliar with. You are one of the smarter people I know in my life, right? Yeah, as
Well,
a
thank
compliment.
you.
Don't get too
I was
lightheaded
shocked.
over it.
Thank-
Yeah, I mean, I say horrible things about you too. I just don't
You
say
do,
them to
yes. Yeah,
you.
I'm sure you do.
No, but I was listening to a bunch of people in the news not 15 minutes ago, talking about the concept of freedom of speech versus blah blah blah, and they were pretty much, this is the one time you hear about this, at least in our current era,
Mhm.
is you hear a lot about social media versus free speech, right?
Yeah.
So, and generally you hear it from people who are saying shit that's kind of gross.
Mhm.
But I am a very, I really think the First Amendment might be the smartest thing ever written down by human hands.
Mhm.
Right? I think it's a really smart idea. But
Yes.
there is also a couple things about it, right? There are things where your freedoms they start to limit the freedoms of other people.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So your freedoms extend. You can put your hands out as far as you want. They're your hands.
Mhm.
But if your hands are smacking someone else in the face, it's a problem, right? You're impeding their ability to have a face that is unsmacked.
Right.
Right? Right. So that's sort of the way I think about it, right? I think about your circle extends until it starts to make someone else's circle not a circle anymore.
Yeah.
Right. You start to push their circle in, then it's a problem.
Mhm.
And I think that, I mean, by nature, that's generally how most people think of things, right? You generally think about things like that all the time, right? Like if you want equitable interaction in people, right?
Mhm.
Now, what the problem is that people seem to think that Facebook, we'll just use Facebook as an example, is a town square, right? It's a town square. You can say whatever you want. And to some extent, maybe that's true. But what town square do you know sells advertisements? Right?
Yeah.
Think about the business model for Facebook. You can say whatever you want at your computer, right? Or at your phone. But the ability to have it travel all the way across the world, that's a megaphone, right?
Yeah.
Right. You purchase the megaphone. It's a device. It's an item. Right?
Mhm.
So my thinking here is that it's a business, a place where people have gathered. It's like a bar or let's say it's an Applebee's. You've gone to this Applebee's, you're gonna get some apps and you're gonna order off the menu, right?
Okay.
Right. Now if you stand on the top of your fucking seat screaming about whatever, they're gonna make you leave the building because you're impeding everyone else's ability to enjoy their apps.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? If you jump up on the table and start screaming the world is flat, the earth is flat or whatever, that no matter how convinced you might be of it,
Mm-hmm.
and how free you feel that you should be allowed to elucidate those points, you should probably be exited from the building because no one wants to deal with that.
Right. Yeah.
Fair? And this is just at an Applebee's.
Yeah.
Now, Facebook sells ads on their site. They are essentially a billboard system, like an old bulletin board system from the internet. But what they've done is they turned it into a business, right?
Yeah, which I don't think a lot of people really understand, because I think from their perspective, it's free to sign up, and it's free to make an account, and it's free.
But it's not free to get your post to the top of the page, right?
Right.
Like, you have to pay in order to promote your content, which I think is sketchy.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at, right? Unless they change something, and then my perception of this will change, So people are like, well, how does me saying something violent on the internet, how does that force another person's freedom to enact in violence? Well, there's a thing, this is the thing I was wanting to get at. There's a thing called stochastism. It's a mathematical term. It's in calculus. It means the probability of something to happen is almost assured, essentially, once you get to a certain number of variables, right? Once you have, like, if I speak to 10 people and tell 10 people to give me $5, like, one of them might give me $5, maybe. But the chance is pretty low of those 10 people I'm speaking to. If I speak to 100 million people, the statistical likelihood that I'm going to get $5 from one of those people is way higher.
Yeah.
Right? Than it would be with 10. And so that's sort of the idea. There's an implied statistical boon that comes from large audiences. That's why we have rules against the idea of inciting a riot, right? You have enough people there, the stochastic terroristic response to me telling someone to go off a person is much higher with more people.
Yeah.
And so we've had to create sort of like a break point for that. Now, some of these people on Facebook have a lot of followers. And if they claim they want violence with 10 followers, the risk is very minimal, right?
Yeah.
But if they say it and they have 100 million followers, the statistical likelihood that there's violence going to be committed because of that is much higher.
Yeah.
Now,
which, unfortunate.
It's called stochastic terrorism. It's a real thing. And it's something people consider in courtrooms and things like that. The nature of the audience size versus the pull of a person making that claim or any claim. However you feel about it, I'm not going to tell you how to feel about it, but I'm going to tell you there is both a mathematical and a statistical likelihood that with a large number of people. Let's do a test. Everyone out there, send me $100. I don't think our audience is big enough, but everyone send Deese personally $100. Prove me wrong or prove me right, whatever. I don't know. However you feel like.
Send you $100.
Send me $100. That'll shut me up. Anyway, it was just a thing I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot about it, and I think that if we're all going to be in a society of thinkers, right? Gamers are by definition thinkers. That's what we do. When we play a game, we exercise our brain's ability to think creatively about puzzles and solutions, and
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think making an impassioned plea to gamers to try to think about these types of things a little deeper than tweet fucking some horrible shit, you know? Yeah, fair enough. I called a guy a cunt on the internet, and I got my post taken down, and you know what my response was to it?
What?
Well, he was a cunt. But I get it. It's inflammatory for me to do that on a site where they're trying to sell Pepsi ads, right? You know what I mean? They're trying to sell headphones from Amazon over here, and I'm impeding them by calling this old grandpa a cunt. But he was, in all fairness, in a public square, I could have called him a cunt, and I probably would have been bailed out by the courts on that. But in this instance, I get it. You can't call someone a cunt in public, like in a business, right?
Right.
I can call you a cunt on the street in front of a Walmart, but when I'm inside the Walmart, I have to not call someone a cunt. Even if they're being a cunt. I know, it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
But it's how society works.
I work at a library, and so, it's a place that the public can come in. Like, you don't even have to check out books. You can just hang out pretty much all day if you want to. We do have patrons that do that. And as long as you're not being disruptive, as long as you're not being disruptive to anyone else there, you can just literally just hang out in the library for like 8 hours. I mean, libraries are obviously very different from a business because we're not trying to sell you anything.
Right.
But
I'm trying to sell you knowledge.
It's still sort of the same idea of like, let's just make this a comfortable place for everybody.
Right.
And if that means that you can't yell about how like the lizard people are taking over your brain, I mean, sorry, you can't. You can go outside on the sidewalk and yell about it, but you can't do that in the library.
Right. I mean, we're all a part of a conglomerate group, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of the people in society work as one unit. We've all tentatively agreed to it by being part of it, right? And and Henry David Thoreau might hate me for saying, but that's how it is. It is what it is. We've tentatively agreed to it by not wandering out in the woods. And Henry David Thoreau's like, I did wander out in the woods. They still put me in prison. I'm like, yeah, I get you, man. I'm with you. But yeah. So this was just something that it was fresh on my mind, and I was asking about if people had heard about the term stochastism. Nobody else had, so I figured maybe it was a good idea to bring up the point.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think it makes sense. It's just sort of the thing that I don't think a lot of people would like sit down and actually like.
But that's why we plead to
out,
gamers, right? Is because gamers literally go through their stats. They go through their character arrangements. They build things in their minds. They apply them to paper, and then they play them in game, right?
Yeah.
They're capable of these deep, complex systems and thinking about creating a thing from scratch. These are the types of conversations gamers should have more of, I think.
Yeah.
Smart. I mean, generally across the board, if you were to pick a bunch of hobbies and rate where you think the intellect lay, I'm just saying, I think gamers are up there.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think gamers maybe, especially now that it's sort of taken a boom, I think gamers this is the hope that I have. There's so many stupid people in the world, right? They're so dense.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't throw a fucking soup can without hitting one of these. That was a really clever joke. I don't know who's gonna. Anyway, leave that in. I want to see if anyone gets what I'm saying in that.
Okay.
I just think that with so many stupid people, gamers need to be the smart ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have all the tools we need to be smarter people. Let's be smarter people, and let's make a better example for people too.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be great, especially after the horrible year that has been 2020.
2020 is really rough. You know, can I, not to toot our own horn here, freelance heroism has been fantastic in this pandemic. We just have. I mean, I'll say you guys have, so I don't include myself in my own compliment. I mean, I don't mind it, but I'm sure it's off-putting for everyone else. I compliment myself all the time. Just by myself, alone in a room with a mirror. And it's like, you're a sexy man. And I'm like, I am.
I do think that all of us here at the podcast have done a really great job and helped support each other. And
yeah. Anyway, yeah, so let's thank you, gamers, in particular the listeners, but all gamers, for being the last bastion of critical thinking and complex thought in a world where we're all mourning the loss of the Kardashians. Jesus Christ. I like Cardassians more than I like Kardashians. Put that in perspective. All right, hey, you want to go to the episode?
All right, let's go to The Mask and the Mechanism, episode 8.
This is my favorite episode.
Is it? What happens in this one?
I have no idea. But it's my favorite one.
Is it? Not
actually. I know which one's my favorite.
Which one?
I can't say it.
Oh, because it hasn't happened yet.
Because it hasn't happened yet. But when it does, but there's a moment in it that I, as the guy running the game, was giddy. I was literally giddy. I can't wait for that to happen.
Okay.
I hope the episode breaks right at the point I think it will. Oh, man. I want a cliffhanger, you fuck, so bad. All right. Enjoy the episode, guys.
All right.
Well, when all else fails, breaking a lock is the easiest way to get it open, I guess.
Callie should like it. It's simple.
Jesus Christ.
You know what?
Hey, do you
I
still
don't
have your
know.
torch? Because burn.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Tentacle Boy.
He's just mad because we broke up the first kiss he would have ever
Oh,
had.
is that-
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
These are like those videos you download.
damn.
Look, as entertaining as it is to watch you two kids go at each other's throats, you're telling us we need to go back to that room where we were, the brazier, put all three things in?
You two kids going at each other's throats. Hey, it's just like those videos you download. Sorry.
I didn't think we were that far inland. So,
This is the deep south of the ocean.
Let's go.
Yeah, if we're heading back to that room, let's go back and let's get this done.
all right. Nothing happens on the way back.
No, I mean, you guys
Okay.
have cleared out. One of the pathways is no longer there. The
Yeah.
second one is covered with jelly boogers.
Yeah, I took a nice long look at where the tentacle came from as we passed that area.
Okay, so Rachel had already used her torch.
Mhm.
Who will go next?
Why not? I shoved green in.
Okie doke. Same thing as before, and you hear the water drop even lower.
And then I'll follow.
All right. It says when the last flame makes contact, you hear a sharp sound as if gears are turning, and the building begins to tremor around you. The water in the
Yeah.
darkness below sinks down and slowly leaves your perceptive range. The brazier then begins to whine a high, piercing cry. Everyone can go ahead and roll perception checks. Anyone who beats a 15, let me know.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
15.
Rachel, you can hear this, and it's looking weird. It's like you're looking at the brazier, and it's kind of tremoring a little bit. And then it begins to indent. It starts to suck into itself metallically, clicking and crunching.
Back way. Back
You
way.
can yell that if you'd like. It says,
Yes.
it begins to indent, slowly at first and then more aggressively until it has lifted from the floor and crumbled upon itself so completely that it is no longer visible to the human eye or to the demon eye or devil eye or whatever you guys have.
Yeah, I was hiding behind Odd.
As that happens, you can hear below you all of the gears had started to spin and whir and click, have now come to like almost their stress point and now have collapsed. Kind of, you can hear cracking and breaking of pistons and things below you. The water seems like it is pouring down now. Down.
Is this what you thought would happen, Thresh?
It was 50-50.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
The way that it like folded in on itself, does that sort of remind me of the clock and like how are those, there were like those rooms that you had to keep one door shut before you went to another one?
Sort of. They sort of feel kind of similar. Yeah,
Okay.
in the way that they feel like there's being exerted upon by a really strong force that maybe is unseen.
Mhm.
Right. So, like, imagine if you had
Orion?
invisible hands crushing a ball of foil.
Okay.
Right. That's sort of what it looks like if you couldn't see my hands crushing the foil.
Mhm.
It just kind of collapsing in.
All right. I will mention that this sort of reminds me of like the rooms in the clock, specifically the time that Thresh got us killed because he had the doors open.
Hmm.
Which time I think for a while I just opened one of them just to piss you off.
You guys were there for a really long time. So.
Yeah.
I think 3
Mhm.
years was what had been
Yeah.
determined.
Yeah. All right. Well,
We had some dark days.
mm, so it sounds to me like whatever we've done, we should be able to go down those stairs and we won't have to contend with water anymore. So that's a good sign. Yeah, at this point, I'd say let's make our way down.
Okay.
Next family vacation, no moving parts in the building. That's all I ask.
Your next family vacation is going to be to Grandma Karen's house. Guarantee you that.
Okay, so you guys can go ahead and swap over maps. If you walk down that staircase, it is a steep staircase, so I would suggest walking gingerly down it. Once you descend, you'll be coming out in area 2A, right? You see that on your map?
Yes.
Okay. So 2B is the area right in front of you. It is a walled off room. It is completely encapsulated and made of a completely different material than the rest of the walls and surfaces in this building. It has a door, but it is open. What do you do?
What room did you say we landed in?
You're coming down the stairs on the second map in 2A.
Okay.
It's the very bottom right of the map. And as you walk in, there's an open platform. It has like sort of a walkway, 10 feet kind of squares all the way around. But in the center is a completely encapsulated room. It looks like it's made of a different material than everything else. Everything else you've seen so far has been stone or some sort of walkways built out of sort of reinforced wood, metal beams or whatever. This is a completely metallic room. And it's sort of sitting on top of this open area.
I'm gonna trace the wall until see if I can find a door.
You can. There's a doorway that's open, and you can see it at the bottom part of the map, right underneath where the 2B is written.
All right.
It's kind of hard to see. I could have maybe done
I see it. I was trying not to metagame it.
Okay. When you get to that area, you know the door is open, and inside there is a light coming out from inside, but you don't hear any sounds and you don't pick up any smells or hear anything.
Is that
we're
the
not-
mask?
Not feeling anything weird off the light, are we?
No, it's just like candlelight.
Okay. I peek in.
Okay. This appears to be some form of quarters, likely for a high priest or priestess of the true path. Amidst the finery lay tomes of all sorts. Bronze chalices, bronze plates, bronze utensils, paintings, some completed, some framed, and others in mild states of production, as if someone were painting here. But all featuring a large pool of water and a small green orb.
Fuck.
But this looks pretty nice.
I'm more
It doesn't-
concerned about the orb and the pool of water.
Well, it doesn't look like the rest of the places you've been. As a matter of fact, if you guys want to roll me an intelligence check. Actually, roll wisdom. That'll be fun.
22.
Just not you, Nate. By the way,
Okay.
18.
what'd you get? 18.
Yeah.
You guys remember this from this? It's the same type of wall metal material that most of the clock was made out of.
Yeah.
Same type of doorways and things were made of this metal.
Looks like this is triggering some memories and what's going
They
on
don't like
here.
metal anymore for whatever. I
This
don't
is
know why.
the-
It's funny because our other group loves metal.
It's like the clock.
You can tell though inside
It is the clock.
It's much nicer in there. It's really nice. There's like paintings. It looks like there are beds. It's really nice.
What are on the paintings?
The paintings are all parts of. They're like either all the way finished and framed or not yet done, but they have like paints and stuff out and brushes, and they're all of a large pool of dark water with a green orb in the center.
Okay.
It looks
and,
to be maybe like it's their version of like what a crucifix is, their holy symbol. It's the same thing that, if you remember from earlier, that you saw on that door.
All right, so a religion check wouldn't help with it at all.
I mean, it's a relatively new religion, and you aren't
That's true.
familiar. But what you can discern is that this definitely is from the path. There are books, holy writings, and things like that on the end tables that have what clearly seems to be the types of writings they talk about: staying on the path, finding the true path.
What's the oldest book we find?
I mean, they're all relatively new. They don't seem
Okay.
super old, maybe a couple years.
So you said some
That's-
of the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go for it.
You said some of the paintings are unfinished, but there are paints out. Is
Yeah.
the paint? Is there anything like fresh? Is it all dried up? Does it look like it's been sitting dormant for a while, or can
You've
I
used
tell?
you've used oil paint before, I'm assuming. It gets kind of cruddy if it's been there for a while, waxy almost.
Hmm.
And this has as well. It's
So-
kind of got that glazed coat on the outside of
Okay.
it, like it's been sitting for a minute.
Gotcha.
There's still liquid in some of the cups, so it hasn't been so long that it's been evaporated or anything. But
Yeah.
the candles are still burning.
So someone has been here recently.
Seems like a good assumption.
Is there a paintbrush like nearby, easy to get to?
Yeah.
I start dipping in the oil, scene or the oil paint, see if I can get it to react at all.
The oil paint to react?
Yeah.
I'm confused by that. What that?
Well,
means.
no, I'm trying to get if it's crusty enough where you can't actually use it.
Oh yeah. It's unusable at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna see if I can get some paint and just flick it at Callie.
I thought you were testing the paint to see if it was baby mimics or something. I'm like,
No,
just paint.
The cup of paint.
just being a dick.
I will tell you though that this room feels better than everywhere else that you've been. You feel healthier and better for being here. Anyone that wants to roll an Arcana check or a religion check, the religion will be much harder.
I'll do an Arcana.
Uh,
Nope. I
Make
got
sure you let
9.
me know. What'd you get?
9.
I got a rock.
You got a rock.
I rolled a 4, or a total of 4. I rolled a
Oh.
1.
I have a 7 on Arcana and a 17 on religion.
I'll give it to you, even though technically you didn't beat the roll. But I think I got to give you something here, because those rolls were real bad all at once. I'm gonna say you'd be in here for a minute. You have time to think about it. That'll give you a +1 deal. This room feels like sort of the same as when you were in that healer's tent. This room makes you feel better. How many of you have damage on you right now?
I was just gonna ask, Callie. I know you got pierced back there. How are you feeling?
I took a couple healing potions, but I wasn't back to full.
Okay.
Well, how many hit points down were you?
5.
We'll say after you've been here for about 30 minutes, you just feel like a hit point has been healed on anyone who has at least 1 hit point of damage.
Okay. I feel a little better being in here.
And you said that I get the sense that this orb is like a holy symbol. So being a paladin, I know a thing or two about holy symbols.
Well, this
Kind
is
of.
this is a weird thing to justify what you mean, and I'll interpret whether or not.
Well, in other words, this orb in the black pool of water effectively is like a
It's like an icon.
yeah, that was the word I was looking for. Icon.
It's their religious icon, their idol, the thing they look to, the thing that symbolizes who
Sure.
they are.
So it's not necessarily a person or a god. It's this orb.
I mean, that's a
Yeah.
perfectly rational thing to think.
And the only manifestation of this orb is just in the pictures, right? There isn't like an actual physical orb in the room.
In this room?
Yes.
I mean, you don't have to roll or perceive anything. You can just look around.
Yeah,
It doesn't look like there's an orb in this room now.
Okay. I was just trying to see if I could maybe figure out where this feeling is radiating from, if it's the room itself or if it's something in the room.
In this room, it feels like maybe this was some sort of type of magic that they use, where you know that they are aware of magic and know how to use it, and most divine entities or people followers of those divine entities have these types of powers. This would feel a lot like if someone were to make, I can't remember the name of the spell, like a sanctuary.
Okay.
Like hollow?
Sort of like a safe rest space that you could place anywhere.
Okay.
It just so happens that this in particular, this area looked like it housed a few of the priests of the path. They have letters that they were writing, they have books, holy scripture, and then paintings. It looked like one of them was sort of into painting. So,
well, worst case scenario, if something really bad happens, we can always hole back up in here.
Yeah.
So this is quite literally a safe room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if there isn't anything else of like, super, yeah, I would say we just kind of mark this room down as a place we can go back and venture out.
Okay. I have a question about the layout here.
Mhm.
Was this area underwater earlier?
it was
So how are the candles on?
interesting. There is a door on this, but
It was open.
Yeah.
So how are how are things still sitting upright? Why didn't, when the water was drained, why didn't everything move with the water as it left?
That's interesting. Nothing in here feels wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hallway outside,
Outside's moist, just like everywhere else was.
but it stops at the door.
Yeah.
Is there enough water on the floor that I could scoop some up in my hand?
Oh no, it's not like a foot deep or anything. It's damp like everywhere else was. The water has now resided or
But I mean,
receded below.
there's no standing pools of water anywhere, like within a crack. Or
Yeah,
okay,
there is.
I go out into the hallway. I find enough water, like scoop my hand in, and I throw it back towards the door, towards the entryway.
It goes through the door. And
So
lands on the floor inside.
Interesting. Okay.
I love seeing where you guys are going. This is really weird to me because it's always fascinating to me to see how people interpret information that you give. And I don't DM very often, so it's fun to watch people be like, I want to look at the pearls on the wall. I want to. What are they made of? What are they? I'm like, and then D-Walk was like, I'm going to go back and check the torches. And I'm like, he's thinking that these are like a well. And I'm like, I just, it's interesting. You can clip all this out. I just think it's interesting. Sorry.
I want to check the beds to see if any of them have been slept in recently.
It seems like they have. Like these, they look like they've been made, but you can tell that this is a very lived-in place.
No, I get it, but like anything still like warm to the touch or?
Oh, you mean like moments ago?
Yeah.
No, Goldilocks.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Were you about to say Goldilocks?
I was about to ask if there were any bowls of porridge sitting on the table anywhere.
No.
That was going to be my next thing.
No, there's no porridge. No, but it looks lived in, but you can tell it's been a little while.
All right.
At least all the clues
Yeah.
tell you that it's been a little while.
How burnt down are the candles?
They have been burning. We'll say you guys have been in here for an hour. They've burnt, and they don't look like they've lost any of their height.
Okay.
Try to blow one out.
It blows out.
Okay.
The door that goes to this room, would it create a watertight seal if it was closed?
Interesting question. Yes, it would.
Okay.
So if the door were closed, it looked like this would be the type of room you could be in while this area flooded.
Right. So we are probably not the only people down here.
No,
In the dampness outside, is there any footprints?
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
no
know-
footprints. Because you have to understand that, like, up until just a few moments ago, this area down here was completely underwater. So when the water came down, what you're seeing now has been washed clean moments before you descended the staircase.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, there's not much we can do except continue on
Continue
and
on.
expect to see at least one other person.
Agreed. We'll be on guard.
How's everyone's HP doing?
I'm good.
Everyone's good?
I haven't lost a point.
I guess Spell's doing.
I mean, I could benefit from a short rest because then I would get my key points back because I used half of the key points that I had.
Well, I mean, if we've already spent a half hour in here, spending another, I mean, seems like to me it would be pretty easy to take a short rest in
Well,
this
you-
room, right?
Yeah, you've been in here for an hour. You could
Yeah.
close the door and be
Okay.
fine.
Do we want to do that?
Yeah, short rest.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are going to take a short rest. Go ahead
Yeah.
and get your short rested up. You guys close the door, leave it open.
I'd
I
say
love
close
how
it.
the doors from the last game has fucked perception of doors up forever. And this is so funny. Places have doors, guys. You guys can use them probably.
Let's close the door and
Okay.
short rest.
Yeah.
Dude, I do the same thing with mirrors in the other game.
It's
You guys don't look at mirrors the same way.
That's so funny. That is true. I fucked them up with doors, Nate, so bad. Because you know how like your dad used to always tell you like close the door behind you when you go outside. I
Yeah.
turned that into a legitimate threat. And now they're just like, I'm like, do you close the door? At both of their faces went like, oh, just close the door, guys. You're fine.
All right.
All right.
Short rest taken.
Yay. All right. Do we want to check 2C before we go further?
Yeah, I mean, we're basically gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna walk out
Yeah.
and be there.
Yep.
The platform allows you to stand above the water and peer over the edge, and amidst the vast open range within the bowels of this temple. Go ahead and roll perception.
16.
The dark water, where once still, is now softly reflected by a necrotic green hue. Like a pearlescent yellow green, just kind of cascades on things, though you can't see where the light's coming from. exactly.
Like Thrush's torch color?
It's more intense than that.
Okay.
It would be like if his flame were much bigger and were sitting just atop the water, but wasn't. But it's not there. There's nothing that is cascading this light. It just feels like there is light. The water is reflecting something that is not visible.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not ominous at all.
Mm-mm.
If you guys can continue into, well, I'll let you guys do your thing. Sorry.
All right. So we can see out. Can we see across to where 2J is?
Yes. If you look over to 2J, it just looks like a pile of rocks,
Okay.
like a massive pile of black stone.
Hmm.
It's a different color from everything else here. It looks like, I mean, I don't know. You can't really tell, but it's big. It's a big pile. You can see it clearly from where you're at across this water.
Okay. All right. I guess we head up to 2D.
Okay.
Okay. As you enter into 2D, this looks like if you were to look above you, look straight up in the air. This looks like where some of the water would have poured down into a pool, which then would cascade out to the water around you. I want everyone to roll perception check now, and then I'm going to ask you for a few more if you don't get it right away.
I got a 7.
God.
You guys' rolls are so bad. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
shit.
I got a 9.
That's a 4.
All right. Well, we're going to take another roll of those in a minute. Where you're at right now, though, just walking into this area, you can kind of tell. This looks like there's a lot of speckled, spattered kind of discoloration on the stone emanating from that centerpiece. It looks like where maybe if you were thinking about where the water elemental was, right? How the water was controlled and dropped and left. It looks like one of the drainage pipes that was connected to the bowl came through here. So it was able to create sort of a stream of water down into the center pit and then through that control the floor of water. That's up what you're thinking. But other than that, this area looks pretty run of the mill.
Okay.
Further ahead of you, down is a expanded walkway that takes you off into a very large area room. In the center, you can see a shape sitting. And then off to your left, you can see more of those kind of walkway railings that take you over towards the area where that pile of black stone was. And then another staircase that you can see descends into the water again near where you're at.
Okay. So if we look up, we can see all of the walkways and platforms. Okay.
Right. And then some larger kind of sections that look like they're held aloft by poles, like large kind of struts that kind of hold them into the ground, and then ones that connect them into the walls. So it's a series of kind of complicated arrays of lifts and stilts and things like that.
So that collapsed walkway that the tentacle pulled down, where is that in relation to where we are right now?
It would be if you were to walk straight ahead and directly over to your left. Like, see how room 2F kind of has that indentation? Like a bend? It would be over in that area.
I see. Interesting. Okay. Well, looks like we've got 3 choices. Anybody feel lucky?
Well, there's someone sitting. Did you say?
No, I said there is something sitting there, a kind of pedestal.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you meant a person was sitting.
No.
Okay. All right. Do we...
Oh, I'm sorry. Also, if you look out of 2E, that little section there, it is sort of one of those big pipes, but it doesn't go outside. It just kind of goes off into the dark.
Okay. Seems like maybe, well, I'm going to let the kids know that in relation to, where we are right now, where that tentacle came down, whatever fell back into the water is was straight ahead of us. Whether it's still there or not, I don't know.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception again. That's actually good, and it'll lower the check since you were on the right track anyway.
All of us?
Yeah. Him pointing it out, though, will lower the check.
I got a nat 1.
Holy shit, Rachel. Lie to me, Jerry.
I rolled another 2.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I rolled a 4 total.
D-Walk, please.
I got a 22.
Thank fucking God. You know how hard it is to tell a story when nobody's got their eyes open? It's like, hey, who saw this? I don't know, some other guy you were traveling with this whole time that you didn't know was there because your eyes are closed.
Sorry, we all decided to poke each other in the eyes, Three Stooges style, before we went into the dungeon.
Okay, so D-Walk, you can see bits of the stone that are kind of jutting out of the water, just barely, right? And when your attention is drawn over there, you having a close and deep connection to some tentacled lover from your recent past,
your girlfriend,
you can see that it is kind of gripping onto those pieces.
All right. I mentally messaged the other 2. He's back.
Are you all able to... You're able to point it out to them, I assume.
Yeah.
As he points it out to you, I like how you're marking the map as his like, nope area, that big nope area right there.
Yep.
As you see that, how do we do this? What's the best way? One of you is going to see it. It's just a matter of who sees it first. I'm going to do a 1, 2, 3 roll. Yeah. 1, Rachel. 2, D-Walk. 3, Nate. Nate,
Mhm.
You see some spines from the far left on the other side of the 2F area, like on the far side from where you guys are standing in 2D, like near that area. If you look off to the right in that area where you have the map marked, that's where you see the squiddy kind of thing. No, maybe a little bit above. Yeah. It started over where you originally had it and is moving rather quickly, creating sort of a rip in the water behind it. Yeah, kind of like that.
Just keep piling those on there.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
what's happening is that you intelligence check real quick just to see everyone puts this together.
12.
Oh, look at that.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
just fucking look at this shit. Now I do it.
Boom, nat 20. Nate, the spikes, the spines that are coming out of the water, they look really familiar to that door, that graphic that you had seen with the large pool of dark water with the green orb over it. And it had 9 spikes coming out of the water
Mm.
on the doors that were sealed up above you. That seemed to be something that just stuck in your memory. And as soon as you saw this coasting through the water, you kind of were like, oh my God, that's from the picture.
So
right?
was that a warning?
You get an ear-piercing shriek, and the water explodes in a wild thrash. And then the tentacle sinks down into the ocean, and the spines drift off into the distance into no. Oh man, we're listening. People listening to this
Yes.
podcast are going to know. Nate has
I
been
know.
putting little cross circles with a crossbar on it over parts of the map that he doesn't want to go. And when
Just
we
put
started
one over
talking
the
about
whole
the
map.
spines, he started dropping a bunch of them on the same location. Now one's just covering the map.
Yep. Time to go.
Yeah.
We're going to swim that 5 hours or whatever it was.
Yeah. Okay, so that thrashing, aggressive, chaotic, frantic water splashing around now starts to show red. There's a lot of red in the water.
Uh-oh.
And there's a loud shrieking chaotic as the tentacle seeps down underneath the water and then whips quickly like it's being drugged through the water.
Oh, okay. Nathan, the player, just now made the connection that these two things are not the same thing.
Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll. You know what?
I was sitting here
This is
thinking.
probably what
Roll a con check, all 3 of you.
contract.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
I'll take it. That's a 20.
Yeah.
I got an 8.
Do you walk?
11.
You and Rachel, you guys are standing there, like kind of in awe of this thing that's happening sort of off in the distance in front of you. And you hear a bolt of lightning appear, like it sounds like all around you. Nate, for whatever reason, you kind of caught a glimmer of some sort of flash.
Mm-hmm.
And you were able to sort of compose yourself, but it really does knock you kind of back. It takes you aback, right? You heard a thunder strike right outside the house. You know, that loud pounding, the windows shake.
Oh, yeah.
That feeling that you just got is what you have. You
Okay.
two freak the fuck out like you've never heard of lightning or thunder before. The bolt crackles above you and lets out a boom that knocks you both to the ground. Your hearing is distorted. You're disoriented. You can't make heads or tails of what just happened.
Do I see what direction that came from?
It's above you. It just appeared above you.
If I look around, do I see anybody standing on any of the platforms anywhere near us?
No, the only thing that you can distinctly make out is in the center of 2F, there is a sort of platform there. And then a pile of rocks on the other
Okay.
side.
And the tentacle is gone, and the spikes are gone, and the
Yes.
water is red.
Yeah, the water is pretty much saturated red now. I would say that this entire side of the map, if you were to go from like where that exit pipe went, the one that I told, from there,
Mhm.
and then kind of work your way towards the center, and then loop back around towards the top of the map. Yeah, sort of like that. That whole area is now blood red, and expanding out in a pool. There's a lot of blood.
Hey, Thresh, go see what's on that platform over there.
Hey, Thresh, will you touch my car battery with your tongue?
Yeah, we tried that once, remember?
Mhm.
What's a car?
It bothers me that I don't. I mean, Thunderbolt from out of nowhere.
Anyone who wants to make you don't have to, but if you want to make an intelligence check, I'll give you a
Okay,
clue.
so am I clear on the fact of what Odd has in his head is that whatever this thing with the spines is attacked whatever the tentacle was and killed it and ate it or dismembered it or did something to it, which is why there's blood in the water now. But do I have any reason to believe that the thunderbolt was an attack against either of those creatures, or was it caused by one of those creatures?
You don't know. I mean, you could. You roll an intelligence check, and I'll give you a clue if you get over a 15.
Oh shit! That's an 18.
Ooh.
Nice. Okay, well, here's the clue. All right? It was storming outside, right? You guys
Okay.
looked out the window at a statue off in the distance.
Right.
You couldn't make out what it was. It looked like the storm was getting real bad. That's a clue.
So
Anyone
do I
else
think-
wanna roll an intelligence check? If you beat a 15, I'll give you a second clue.
I got an 11.
Nope. D-Walk? I can't tell if he's shaking his head no.
I think it was a no.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then what's your plan? I'm gonna say that you two have started to gain your composure. You're like, what the fuck was that? Your head hurts from the force. It's like hit your eardrums like a fucking. I don't know. It felt like it was right in front of you.
So
Well-
we're saying whatever it is killed the other thing that actually grappled me.
That's
Yes.
kind of what it looked like to me.
It's probably what it was trying to get away from.
I didn't, take a minute to see if it was scared or not when it latched on, and
Well, whatever it is lurking around in the water now.
I know that it's sort of in the bad direction, but do we want to go look at whatever is on that platform over there? Or do we want to just head to 2G?
Well, I mean, everything over there to the left, we know that is a bridge, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
effectively like just a railed walkway. Is it
But-
the same thing going to 2F? Is it just like another bridge that goes to a flat platform, or is that an?
No, it's built of stone, the same kind of stone that was around where that falling water would have been.
Okay, but what I'm
and
saying
it's
is that anything
wider.
could reach out of the water and grab us. There's nothing giving
I
us any
mean,
kind of cover,
There's no
Everything.
place here.
Yeah,
that
okay,
is
I
giving
was
you
just
a whole lot
making
of
sure.
cover.
except the room at 2B.
Yeah, 2B seems safe.
Yeah.
If you guys want to live there forever, that's totally a reasonable thing. You guys are the most like real people of any D&D game I've ever played. Like all the D&D games I've ever played are like people like channeling extra dimensional powers, and you guys are like, I don't want to go over there. No, fuck that. Like
Well, I
this is the
mean-
most family. It's like a
You know.
vacation that's gone completely off the rails.
We just saw two kaiju over there fuck with each other. I
Yeah.
mean,
That's a good example.
I think even the bravest hero might go, fuck it.
Go Godzilla.
Yeah. I mean, I would very much like to see what is over there at 2F, but if we're
Well,
gonna.
now might be the best time if it's eating the squid.
That's a good point. That's a good point. All right, I say we make a run for it.
All right, come on, Thrush.
all right, let's do it.
Okay, so you guys can make the turn and turn towards the center. If you look towards right behind where 2F is, that's maybe one block up. There is a kind of pedestal that comes up out of the ground. It doesn't look like it's made of the same material as everything else. And if anyone, the highest perception roll will notice it first. Go ahead and roll off. Perception with bonus.
21.
Okay.
5.
Nate, you got a
20.
20.
22.
Oh.
Right.
Nat 20.
Okay, Nate, you notice that on this pedestal is the mouse that your daughter has been yapping about this entire time. There is a mouse sitting on top of this pedestal.
All right. I believe you now, Callie.
Knew
What's
there
it
was a
doing?
mouse.
The mouse sits atop a massive bronze pillar and gazes upon you for quite some time as you approach. Before you have a moment to react, it speaks.
What have you come to claim?
Its voice is a booming roar.
What task has the prince asked of you?
He doesn't allow you to respond. He says,
The relic is under my protection. No man,
and he looks at you.
or woman for that matter, may impede my task.
We're not human, bro.
I stand as guardian.
I stand as a half devil.
I serve the true path.
We serve our own interests.
Eh.
You've come to take the relic.
Is that the mask?
As you say mask, the mouse begins to peel away its flesh as it increases in size dramatically. 2 large bronze wings flecked with green scales fly from its back, taking flight for a brief moment before landing on the stone floors before you. Now stands a large bronze dragon, lightning crackling about its terrifying jaws and nostrils. Around its neck, a black rope hangs a bronze medallion in the shape of a nondescript human face. It appears to be a mask, concave and shimmering with light, unseen in this dark place. The dragon stands on its hind legs, craning its neck in the air.
I fear no man of this realm or age. I will never allow you entry to statics.
He then drops down onto all 4 legs, shaking the very stone beneath your feet, and breathes a wild cone of lightning.
If I wasn't worried for my life, I'd be asking him how to spell that place.
Yeah, Daffix, bro.
That sounds like another dimension.
My comic. None of these motherfuckers here except D-Walk.
Probably should have stepped on that fuck while I had the chance.
Okay, guys.
Right?
We're
One
gonna
quick aimed Eldritch Blasts might have finished this.
We're gonna do some lightning burst.
And then suddenly 9 spikes from out of nowhere pierce through the dragon.
Actually, if you want to look, the 9 spikes are on the back of his head. He has 3 coming off each side, and then 3 off the top.
Oh.
Also,
Uh-huh.
everything in this dungeon was bronze. It seems like maybe that would have been something to think, but I don't know. It probably wasn't able to.
No.
Okay, so this is gonna hurt, probably.
I don't get evasion until next level.
I never get it.
Well, it sucks to suck.
Hey, that happened. See, I got the proof. She didn't buy dinner either.
Everyone take a dexterity check or a save. You're gonna need that save.
20.
Actually, tell me where you guys are positioned, actually. And don't be like on opposite sides of the dungeon.
Oh no, I'm hiding way behind, or like right behind Dad in his shield.
I would
Oh,
have
fuck
been
that
probably
shit.
adjacent to Odd.
I see where you guys are. Okay, so he's gonna be able to get C and T.
Okay, so the question I have, though, is that, well, the attack hits us all at once, or is it individual attacks against each of us?
It's a single stream of lightning.
Okay, because...
It's a breath weapon.
So I can't, because protection, when wielding a shield and a creature you can see attacks a target other than you within 5 feet, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the roll, but...
There's no
No.
roll. He's laying a template down.
Because
Yeah.
we're making the save.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Roll your saves, guys.
I got a 20.
What are we
Hey,
rolling?
That's a win.
Dexterity save.
Dexterity save. God, yes. Eat my balls. 26.
Yeah, you got it.
Suck it, dragon.
Hey, maybe you guys used up all your shit rolls. D-Walk, what'd you get?
Maybe.
He got a mute.
He doesn't want to say it.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. D-Walk, you take 39 damage. You two, I told you guys to fucking chill and rest in that room that was healing you.
Oh.
You two take half.
So
So
18?
yeah, well, we round up, don't we? No, I'll let you guys round down this time. So it'd be 19 damage each, right?
19 damage.
Okay.
Ooh, you guys got fairly
Let's
lucky.
punch a dragon.
Oh shit! I almost wrote. I've been using my messenger to keep track of hit points and everything. I almost sent it to you guys. Mistake.
Are we rolling initiative?
Yes, you can roll initiative.
15.
Okie doke.
16.
12.
Okay. D-Walk, Rachel, Nate. Make a note of this. D-R-N. Okay. D-Walk.
I'm going to do my Hunger of Hadar again.
You're gonna do your what?
I'm going to summon that 20-foot radius sphere of blackness and bitter cold on the bronze dragon, and its void is filled with a symphony of soft whispers and slurping noises. Or the void creates a warp in the fabric of space and the area of terrain. Any creature that starts its turn takes 2d6 cold damage, and any creature that ends its turn takes 2d6 acid as my phone dies and my spellbook dies.
You can bring it up on your laptop, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do I have to roll?
It is a DC 15.
What save? Dex or con?
I'm checking right now.
I thought the visual of the mouse ripping its flesh off was trippy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a any creature that ends its turn in the area must succeed on a dex save, but as of right now,
I knew D-Walk was gonna be this motherfucker. I knew it was gonna be this motherfucker. Guess what's the worst save?
but any creature that starts its turn in the area takes 2d6 cold automatically.
Okay. You
So
wanna roll that damage for me?
sure.
I'll take it now, so.
Okay.
Oh wait, I'll just take it on when it comes to my turn.
Yeah. So I cast that on it, and I'm going to move 30 feet to the left to get away from the others, so we're not grouped up again.
How does that spell work with blind sight?
I guess blind sight would be able to surpass it because all it does is take out any visual.
Okay.
So well played, sir.
Well, not me, the guy who made these.
I know.
Okie doke. So then next turn? Or are you gonna move?
Yeah, I'm going to move away from the others 30 feet to the left as far as I can go, just to not get us all caught together.
Okie doke. Rachel, your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna use my action to do wholeness of body to heal myself. I can heal hit points equal to 3 times my monk level, which would be 18, which almost puts me back at full. That was my action.
You guys got
and-
pretty fortunate on a roll that he had to make, like, immediately.
And I'm gonna move, I guess, kind of away from Odd, maybe like 5 feet, just so that we were not like bunched up together.
Okay. Are you moving to the opposite side D-Walk is?
Yeah. So like how Nate has it on the
Okay.
map is good. I don't want to move right up to it just yet because I can't attack it this turn, so I don't want to move to it so it can hit me on its next
Okay.
turn.
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah,
okay.
I know. It can still move up to me to attack, but
It's fast.
I'd rather not like be like, hey, did you want to punch me in the face? Let me come over to you.
Right.
So then you can, claw my face off. And that's going to be it for my turn.
Okay. Nate. We should have rested when we had chance.
Well,
Do a full 18 hours to
Yeah.
get my HP back.
well, I was at full HP, so I
Oh, okay.
wasn't. I didn't really miss anything. Only thing I'm down is 1 second level spell slot. So
I'm gonna be honest, the visual for this thing is so fucking rad. It's so fucking rad. Like if I drew a dragon that I thought was the coolest dragon, this would probably be it.
True. So I guess as my action, I'm going to go ahead and do lay on hands. So I'm going to touch myself.
When I think about you,
Yeah. I'm going to heal myself back up to full. So I'm going to put 19 out of my 30 points. So I've got 11 left in there. So that's my action. I think as my bonus action, I will do Channel Divinity, because I got that back after the short rest. I will make the dragon, I will cast upon it my Vow of Enmity, so I will gain advantage on all attack rolls against it, pretty much for the duration of the combat. So that's action, bonus action, and I think I'm gonna stay right where I am, because I think we've got a good spread right now. So
got a good spread.
got a good spread. All right.
I just want to shoot the intruder. I don't want to have to do a bunch of drywall work. This is Bill Burr talking about shotguns. Oh, sorry. Okay, so it is now their turn. They are going to. I think Rachel was the one that saw it. They, them.
The dragon?
That motherfucker over there.
Okay.
Yeah. He's gonna go for Rachel because she's the one that's been eyeballing him.
It's because I stun locked that mimic
That's not why.
earlier.
Yes,
That's why
of
it's
course.
going
He was
after
already
me.
gone. He was already gone before then. He had to. He saw the squid thing was down there. And he was like, "Motherfucker!"
Told you not to come in my territory.
Ooh. God.
Oh no.
God damn. 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
Actually, before he's gonna walk to you, but when he does, everyone roll a perception check to notice the thing.
So they can see my death coming for me. 20.
Oh, you okay?
24.
15.
Nate, so he's walking weird. That's what you know, right? He's making a weird kind of hobble walk. You're not 100% sure what's going on.
Okay.
The rest of you know that in his left hand, he is grasping something that is not visible to you. It looks like he's holding something that isn't there, but it's very obvious to you now that when he moves, he only uses one of his legs to walk on, or one of his front legs. The other one he kind of gingerly presses down on, but he's not running with like he would normally run. And on top of that, when that arm moves, the shadow, the light on the mask around his neck kind of flickers with a green light, kind of flickers off the mask. Rachel, he had a 24 to hit you.
Yes, that hits.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be on his bite.
Oh, okay.
18 damage.
Oh, you mean the exact amount of damage I just healed?
Look, man, I'm just doing what the damn book says to do. Or the website, whatever.
Okay.
Okie doke. And then it's going to swat at you with its other claw.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, how far away did you say you were from me?
It misses the second attack.
Yay. I moved like 5-10 feet away from you.
Okay. All right.
When it bites you, Rachel, it snaps down on your shoulder, trying to incapacitate you, but its teeth kind of slip off. You notice that this dragon isn't as big as you've seen in maybe books and research papers and things like that. This looks like a younger dragon. It's not a baby, but it's not full grown.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems upset. From what you guys know of bronze dragons, is that they're lawful good. You're not 100% certain what's going on, why he would. You guys are all good aligned, correct?
I think so. Like
Ish.
Chaotic good, neutral
Yeah.
good,
Okay.
neutral good.
Well, then that is done. We're back to D-Walk, who is now
Darth Sidious.
Ooh,
In-
spooky, David.
We hope you enjoyed listening to The Mask and the Mechanism. It is a custom game by me.
Thank you so much. Our cast includes me as that guy who isn't in this game. And also 3 other people who are assholes to me pretty much the entire time. And a frog who is going to be everyone's favorite character. His name is Gregarious Pete, and he's a frog. If you'd like to support us, consider donating on Patreon. That's patreon.com/freelance_heroism. And there'll be more episodes and shit. You'll love it. One second, sorry.
Okay.
My Google Home kept responding to me when I was saying hi, and I was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I'm like, "I need it. I need the sensor to go off for a minute. Give me a second." And I was afraid no matter how I responded to you, it was going to talk back and then reactivate the sensor.